Well, with Westworld, you have to be very careful how you speak. So take for granted there's going to have to be a question mark behind every statement I make, and there will have to be at least some minor spoilers for the previous seasons, but I will try to avoid the major spoiler. So what is going on? Well, William is back, and he's as deadly as ever. The man in black is back, but who is he or what is the agenda? Because in one of the later stories with Maeve, it seems he's sending hunters after her. But why? It seems he's insanely powerful now with this nanotechnology he uses against the cartel to take control of that building slash dam. And what's that about is unclear. That's shown in the trailer, so presumably this is the build up to where they will be doing the final confrontation. But what that's about, unclear. But his scenes at the very beginning were very powerful, I think really interesting. The conversation was pretty fun and energetic. The way he did the threats, but was very low key. And the cartel being very arrogant and just not taking him seriously. It all made sense. It's all very intriguing. Of course, we have the questions. Is this William? Is this the host body? What is occurring? It's unclear. I thought he was killed off. So a lot of question marks. So a lot of people have been brought back, but we don't quite know where they're situated. Now with Christina slash Dolores, I would assume from the clues she is in one of the parks and the other characters are, quote, in the real world. Because just the way people were talking in the background, they're having all this weird chatter that this is a really enjoyable place. Now, usually with Westworld, the theme parks are structured around fantasies being fulfilled. Why would being at a video game company would be a fantasy fulfilled? I don't know. Maybe it's the fantasy in New York that's being constructed that's just intriguing enough. And that brings us to the roommate of Dolores, who I think pretty clearly is not who she appears to be. Just the way she's always stooping around and really bugging her about the dates. Like, that would suggest that she's either handling or monitoring or supervising Dolores slash Christina. And the imagery is pretty really stark with the black white imagery, which they played with throughout the entire series. I can't believe that's just a pure accident that she's very nosy and simultaneously there's all these obvious symbols around her. So something's going on, but what it is unclear. It's fine that they're going at a slow pace because apparently one reason they took so long to return was that they wanted to structure a lot of the twists and plot elements a lot better than the previous seasons. So people complained that the twists sort of came out of nowhere and didn't make any sense. Presumably now they do, because we see Teddy at the end and we thought he was in the Sublime. It's a lot of intriguing premises that they're beginning with, but it is a lot of head scratching. I would assume that given season 3 was devoted to Revolution and had this very Fight Club element to the whole thing, that we're going to be questioning what Dolores did and how she got away with it. Because even if you were on her side, you I think most people would say she did some very, very questionable things to affect the revolution and essentially take over and basically manipulate Caleb as a part of her cause. So presumably the time for paying all these bills is coming due, and we're going to see this through Christina. But who Christina is, still don't know. Is this one of the original host bodies? Is this kind of a backup program they've always had available? Is this Dolores? Like, if she knew she was going to die, she'd always have a way to still be existing? It's unclear, very unclear. But I thought at least the Christina and Man in Black sections were intriguing. They were well acted. They were mostly well done. But when we get to Maeve and Caleb, it just feels like we're just wasting a lot of time. I mean, why Maeve waited so long to attack the hunters after her, even why the action was filmed the way it was, that was very, very puzzling because she's powerful enough. She doesn't really have to, quote, hide or mislead people because we know she can take them out. The whole point of misleading the audience didn't make a lot of sense. But it's interesting that one of the hunters she kills, we've seen this person before. So this is a callback to the earlier seasons. And the mystery man that was kind of harassing Dolores slash Christina, that person has a name that's similar to her father's name. So gotta think here, like, what is going on? Why are all these callbacks occurring? It could just be pointless fan service, or I do think they're sort of embedding certain twists that we're going to see later within the season. So watch out for that. But probably the most disappointing one was Caleb because that really went nowhere. It just had one simple plot beat, and that was it. Namely, he knows something is coming. He's training his daughter to be violent just in case something goes really, really wrong, and his wife is just constantly complaining and nagging, like, no, don't worry, stop doing it, stop being the hero man. he's like, but I have to be the hero man. I have to protect my daughter. And what's the argument here? Like, no, don't protect your daughter. Let her die. Why prepare her? It just felt really dumb. It looked great and the acting was superb, but really, this didn't make a whole lot of sense. I did like, however, they did address the season 3 question, namely, well, did it even happen? Was it all in our heads? Like, no, apparently the revolution happened, but it really didn't go anywhere. And I do like that he's sort of content being this mild mannered person, but you can tell like he's edging to get back into the fight. I did like where they're going with it in the hints, but overall, that was probably the most disappointing. It just didn't really do very much. I would have her say, cautioning my praise, what they did with Caleb, that's from Terminator 3. It's very similar to Terminator 3 and what happened with John Connor. It's almost, copy and paste completely because guess what? John Connors is also off the grid, working construction, and he's trying to deny his hero man, hero journey predestinies. Yeah, that section with Caleb is almost totally stolen from another movie. So, but I like Terminator 3. I think it's underrated. I think it's been overhated for no reason. Yeah, aside from just being really boring, it was completely derivative. But again, a lot of the episode was very intriguing, very well done. A lot of the symbolism is very intriguing. It does match a lot of the earlier symbolism. So they've definitely got me intrigued. But again, hopefully the slow pace, they've mapped it out better, and we are going to see things pick up from the episodes going forward because we have much fewer episodes than we used to with the season. So hopefully this is getting somewhere. They're going to get to the points a lot sooner, and we can get to the resolutions a lot sooner because, but I'm okay with hand waving a lot of issues for now when we see where it's all going ultimately.